kasi hindi na sila nade-distract na nakikita na sa pag.
Yes po sir, actually isa rin po yan ang sa na-observe ko. Nung kasi sa FB, marami pong teachers ang nagpo-post ng classroom. No? So from the designs they have, tapos yung binabaklas. Tapos kasama po yung, syempre yung mga pictures and video nila na parang okay na, malinis na yung classroom. Parang mas less nga po yung distraction. Parang more conducive sa learning. Pero siguro case to case basis kasi may mga klase na talagang kailangan ng mga ganong interactive designs na sa loob ng klase. Para at least kahit pa paano may channel yung mga bata na matuto kahit hindi na or kahit hindi kay teacher. So, thank you sir. The technique of teaching learning goes at the transmission of knowledge, imparting skills, and building of attitudes, values, and nature. So, educationists have been striving to assess the learning process in terms of provisions of the individual and community. So, teaching learning process consists of various variables and these variables interact with each other. The learning process consists of the factors like constructivist theory. So, ito na po yung ating mga variables that affect or that consist the learning process, teaching learning process. So, constructivist theory, it is a learning strategy to improve the existing knowledge base of student. They learn new things and update themselves in addition to the knowledge they are holding with them. So, dinadagdagan lang natin as ini-improve, ini-enhance yung mga prior knowledge ng ating mga estudyante. So, ito po yung ating constructivism learning theory. So, it explains that we learn by constructing knowledge in our minds through interaction with our environment. So, constructivism argues that learners have an active role in thinking things through, mulling them over, and coming to logical conclusion. Yung learning nila ay kahit di nila nahahawakan, basta nakikita, o kahit nahahawakan o nakikita, so pinaprocess ng mga bata yan sa isip hanggang sa they will arrive with a particular or a certain conclusion wherein learning takes place. So the key concept, learning is cognitive process. We learn through experience. Sabi nga nila, learning by doing. We learn through social interaction. Ito, importante kasi effective. We use prior knowledge to make sense of new information. Learning occurs in linear stage. Students should learn actively rather than passively. Yung mga bata minsan, parang parang stage by stage. Siyempre, hindi naman pwede ituro sa kindergarten yung ating addition of yung ating algebraic expression or algebra. So, tuturo pa lang dun yung basic operation. Pagdating ng siguro ng mga grade 6, yung mga ganun pa rin, may mga fraction na hanggang sa makarating sa high school, may rational at irrational expression for algebra. Parang stage by stage, no? Yung kanilang pag-unlock. Second one is experiential learning. The term is going to explain the importance of experiences in the learning process. So, ito na po yung medyo kinuha ko lang po yung ating diagram, cycle. So, kahit saan po tayo dyan magsimula. So, concrete experience doing have the student must experience. So, reflective observation, ano ba itong ginawa niya, para saan po ba ito, no? Abstract conceptualization, siguro ito para halimbawa, ano ba magandang example dito? Nagdidilig sila ng halaman sa science. So, para saan ba ito? Bakit ba dinidiligan? So, reflective observation, nakikita natin na kapag dinidiligan, ay kasama pala ito sa paglaki ng mga halaman o sa pagtubo. So, abstract conceptualization, we therefore conclude na pag diniligan with the right amount of sunlight and syempre yung soil property ay talagang tutubo ng maayos. Then, active experimentation, ano natutunan nila ng mga bata? So, paikot lang ang ating experiential learning. So, we have third, cognitive learning. It is a learning method that focuses on learning through listening, watching, touching, and experiencing. Dito po sa cognitive learning loop, we have the comprehension. Think how the topic fits into larger picture and why learning matters. The second one is memory. So, the student will relate new information with your previous experiences to build deep knowledge piece by piece instead of cramming. And the third one is application. Apply knowledge or skills to real-life situation and reflect on topics you are learning. So, ang goal naman talaga natin bilang mga guro is magamit ng mga bata yung knowledge nila in real-life application or real-life situation. palagi ko sinasabi sa mga estudyante ko, nandito kayo sa school, hindi lang para matutunan yung lesson na tinuturo ng inyong mga teacher. Nandito kayo sa school, hindi lang para makipag-mingle kayo sa mga kaklase nyo or syempre for formality na pumasok ka sa school. Ang like ko sinasabi, nandito ka sa school because your teacher, your school, the stakeholders and the government is preparing you to be matured enough para harapin yung totoong buhay after high school. So palagi ko sinasabi sa kanila, the application of what you have learned from the school is outside the school na. So, ito po yung significance of teaching-learning process. Sabi dito, if the learners are not able to learn and acquire knowledge, teaching is ineffective. So, baliwala kapag talagang hindi natututo si bata. Teaching and learning is a process that cannot exist without the other. So, the teaching-learning process allows teachers to organize and improve their instructional skills and techniques to make teaching more effective. Minsan, ina-assess natin sarili natin, ano ba yung mga strategies na nagamit ko na effective? O ano ba yung mga strategies na parang dispalinghado, so palitan ko na to next time, di ko na to gagamitin. Or maybe, ano ba yung mga strategies na suit lang sa mga ganitong klaseng bata? Ano yung mga strategies na pwede sa mga auditory? O yung mga bata na, wait lang po, yung mga bata na ano lang, iba-iba. May iba pa kasi pumato. The teaching learning process allows instruction to refine, set up, and clarify their teaching objective. Tuloy ko na po. The teaching learning process is important to learners because it helps them to acquire new knowledge, which shapes them into responsible individuals and makes them ready to face the world. So learning is the key to education, and it is the most important process of gaining education. Learning cannot happen without teaching, hence the teaching learning process is extremely significant. So alam na natin to, napakahalaga talaga ng ating teaching learning process. So without the other, hindi to siguro mangyayari. Pero siguro may mga bata minsan, no, parang sa teaching, natututo sila sa ibang bagay. The teaching learning process makes learners aware of their goals and help them accomplish the same. And lastly, the teaching learning process takes an individual's belief, thoughts, needs, and experiences into account and turns them into individuals who can adapt to a changing environment. Kapag hindi natin nahubog si bata to adapt with the changing environment, siguro wala tayong naitulong bilang mga guro. Pero as long as the students can adapt with the changing environment and applies his or her knowledge, yung mga prior knowledge that they have learned from us, siguro dun tayo talaga magiging masaya because we have been effective teachers and we were able to make them learn with the topic, with the subject, and not only with that, we have helped them learn to be more prepared in the real world. So ito, familiar po ba kayo dito sa ating 6E plus S model instruction? Sino po ang nakakaalam dito? Are you familiar with these teachers? Ito po ay ginagamit natin siguro. Hindi ako masyadong familiar dito nung una. Pero parang feeling ko when we design our lesson, yung daily lesson natin, ay parang kasama to, incorporated na po ito. So, present ko na din. Taas lang po ng kamay kung sino po ang familiar dito. Kahit hindi ko po nakikita. Heart react na lang po. Okay. So, una, engage. The activity should make connections between past and present learning experiences. Anticipate activities and focus students' thinking on the learning outcomes of current activities. Students should become mentally engaged in the concept process or skill to be learned. Each lesson plan has an essential question. Sa tingin niyo, teachers, anong part ng lesson na plan natin yung engage sa ating pong ginagawa? Pwede pong mag-unmute. Sir? Ma'am?
Icebreaker, sir.
Sa motivation, yes. So, dito po ay gumagawa po tayo ng mga activities para ma-link natin yung mga past experiences o yung prior knowledge nila sa ating lesson, no? For bago tayo mag-introduce ng bagong lesson. Karaniwan, gumagawa tayo ng mga motivation, di ba? Mga pag-games or minsan by question, no? Para makakuha tayo ng opinion or answers from our student. Normally, the section will include a few key questions to help direct some of the research in the explore section. So, explore. Here, the students investigate the topic more thoroughly. What is important is that the students are given the opportunity to free will their way through the material and not be over-directed. They will need some direction, and the teacher can circulate asking important questions, listening to their interaction, and ensuring that they remain on task. So, dito parang ano kayang part ng lesson to sa lesson plan, sir, ma'am? Kasi baka na-apply na natin, hindi lang tayo aware. And now we are aware that these are applied in our lesson. So, sa tingin niyo po ma'am, saang part po ito ng ating lesson, sir?
Sa analysis, sir,
Analysis. Ang analysis ba, sir, ay nasa first part ng ating lesson? Parang, di ba, sa tingin mo, sir?
kasi ano yan pwede natin yung ipasok after ng ng motivation. Kasi if magagawa ng activity, like example sa akin, mapit pinagturo ko.
Yes po, sir.
Yung activity na ginagawa ko ay connected dito sa lesson. So, yung style ng mga art of questioning ko, kumbaga, I want them to explore what is the topic, yung pinaka magiging cover ng topic na.
Yes,
Na
yes po.
ko, when it comes kaya parang ano yan, papasok sa akin yan sa pangalawa after
Yes.
or depende na rin yan, sir, kung sa lesson proper ka na ipasok yan.
Sa bagay po, yes, sir. Pwede sa introduction of lesson, sir, no? Parang inductive method to na kung saan kukuha ka ng mga opinion, reaction from the students until you arrive with the particular topic that you're going to have in this particular lesson. Thank you, sir. Then we're going to explain. Now, this space helps students explain the concept they have been exploring. They have opportunities to verbalize their conceptual understanding or to demonstrate new skills or behaviors. This space also provides opportunities for teachers to introduce formal terms, definition, and explanation for concept, process, skills, or behavior. Parang ito na yung body ng lesson mo. Parang lesson proper na. Then, elaborate here, the students are expected to work directly on the given assignment. Ito na yung mga activities given, seat work, and assignment. It is their opportunity to demonstrate their application of new information and to present their findings or conclusion to others. It is a good time for submitting materials for evaluation, doing presentation, and completing the project or assignment. And also, the last one is evaluate. Hindi pa pala yan last. While it is expected that evaluation will continue throughout the process, this is the section where the teacher evaluates the learning that has occurred. Alam natin, it is very vital for us teacher to evaluate students' learning kasi kapag ang bata ay hindi natin in-evaluate yung ating lesson, hindi natin malalaman if we are going to move to another topic or the next topic or kailangan ba nating mag-repeat ng lesson. Mostly, hindi ko alam kung lahat tayo gumagawa, pero alam ko naman bilang teachers, ginagawa natin to na kapag si bata o yung ating majority of our students in a classroom or dun sa mga hawak natin ay hinahihirapan, nagre-repeat tayo ng lesson pero sa ibang paraan na, iba na yung atake, iba na yung strategies, or humahanap tayo ng paraan kung saan may engage natin yung mga bata at alam natin na yung particular doon sa topic na kailangan nating bigyan ng emphasis, doon tayo nagkakaroon ng pagkakataon na makuha yung mga bata at matutunan yung kanilang topic or yung topic na gusto mo or dinidiscuss mo for a particular lesson. So students normally submit their work or assignment at this point. It is very important at this stage that the students be encouraged to engage in self-evaluation, group evaluation, and develop their own tools to do so. So extend, this section contains some suggestions for taking the students beyond the lesson. The purpose is to examine ways in which they can bring their findings to others, apply their understanding to new and unfamiliar circumstances. Normally, this type of activity will grow out of their examination for what they have accomplished. So, yung mga knowledge o natutunan ng mga bata, pwede na, magagamit niya na, no? Siguro, sa mga sunod na mga lesson ay talagang very equipped na ang ating bata kasi natutunan niya na at concrete na yung knowledge na nakuha niya. This section is highly students-driven through teachers may want to gently suggest that the students enter their work in a competition or take their displays to other location outside of their own school. So, yung class S niya, standards are currently in the process of being integrated, lesson plan by lesson plan. In this section, these lessons are matched with the state, provincial, or national standard. So, tayo ay guided ng MELC or MELC. So, these are the standards given to us by the division office or by the DepEd. So, tingnan natin kung naka-align pa rin yung ating ginagawa doon sa ating MELC or sa ating mga binibigay sa atin ng ating DepEd. Ito, what are the learning types of students? Merong iba-iba tayong learning style. So, visual. Ito yung mga estudyante na they learn more on what they see. No? Auditory. Ito yung mga estudyante na they learn more on what they hear. And mga kinesthetic. Ito yung mga bata na natututo by doing. No? Yung physical activities. So, ano nga ba yung mga pwede nating ibigay para sa mga batang visual? So, meron tayong mga graphical, illustration, may mga PowerPoints, videos, we have pictures and articles. And para sa mga batang auditory, we have one-on-one conversation, podcast, group discussion, videos, and oral presentation. At para sa naman mga bata naman na kinesthetic, may mga hands-on activity tayong ginagawa. Kaya lang, may I ask everyone to share their insights or experience. How do we address students with different learning styles? Kung ang subject natin ay parang, halimbawa sa akin sa math, parang medyo sa kinesthetic, medyo nahihirapan ako dun sa pag-apply. Maliban sa mga board activity, sa mga grouping activity, wala namang ibang physical activity maliban dun kasi parang mas mauubos yung oras kung halimbawang magtatalon-talon pa yung mga bata, no, magtaas-taas ng kamay. Sa ibang subject po ba, how do you address this learning style in one topic? Magbigay lang po sana ng isang topic, tapos how do we address this one? Pwede pong mag-unmute, ma'am, sir. Thank you po.
Good morning po, sir.
Yes po, ma'am.
Nag-unmute na ako.
Sige po.
Michelle Lumabat po. Ano po, sir? Sa amin po kasi, sa elementary, sa groupings po namin, nag-prepare po kami ng mga differentiated activities po. So, per group po, nakabitan po yung bata. Halimbawa po sa akin sa math, yung mga visual learners po, more on understand natin. Kaya rin, mag-practice din po. Ganun po yung binibigay ko. When it comes naman po sa mga case study, kasi nag-prepare po kami ng manipulatives. Laruan, ganun mga things. Tsaka iba't ibang activities po. Po.
Sige po. Sa ibang subject kaya, kasi halimbawa sa AP, alam ko may AP teacher dito eh. And you are teaching history. Paano po kaya ito ma-address, ma'am, for any suggestion para po rin sa kaalaman din ng lahat? Meron po ba ditong AP teacher? So wala po. Anyways, tuloy ko na po. Syempre, bilang teacher, tayo po ay parang hindi obligado ang sabihin. Parang tayo by heart ay kailangan nating i-adapt yung ating mga sarili to address all these types of learning students or learning styles of students. So, siguro, minsan kailangan malawak yung imagination natin, yung creativity para talaga namang makita natin yung iba't ibang klase ng ating mga estudyante. So, pasok na po tayo sa curriculum development. Alam ko medyo late na po ito kasi na-discuss na po yung iba't ibang mga curriculum para sa iba't ibang mga bansa. At kayo na po, narinig ko yung curriculum sa Japan. At nabanggit nga rin po ni ma'am kanina na yung mga panahon ng hapon ay talaga namang hindi naman siguro parang karimari-marim, no? Yung mga babae nga po ay nilalagyan ng pula sa kanilang mga palda para masabihan na merong menstruation at hindi magalaw na mga hapon. So marami pong mga pinapatay ng panahon. Pero sabi nga ni ma'am, we're talking about the curriculum and not the situation during the Japanese time. So what is curriculum development? Is the step-by-step process of designing and improving the course offered at school, colleges, and university. Even though each institution will have its own process, the broad stage of framework consists of analysis, design, implementation, and evaluation. So curriculum refers to specific lesson and academic content taught in school and educational institutes for a particular course of program. On the other hand, curriculum development is a process that aims to prove the curriculum by using the various approaches. I just want to have a clear mind about kapag ask ko lang po Ma'am David, no, kapag nagtayo kasi ng eskwelahan, yung mga private school, para po kasi naisip, nalaman ko, na kapag ang isang eskwelahan ay nagtayo ka ng isang eskwelahan and you map your own curriculum, parang hindi ka masyadong bibisitahin ng DepEd, parang ganun po ba? Kapag nagtayo ka ng eskwelahan at kumuha ng curriculum from the DepEd, parang ikaw yung madalas puntahan, may ganun po ba, Ma'am David? Or pwede po ba magtayo ng eskwelahan na ikaw yung mag-bang up ng sarili mong curriculum?
No, that's not possible.
Hindi po.
That's not possible po, sir. So
Sige.
that's why, those are private institutions and private schools, they have to be monitored and they have to have, they are required to have a principal that will monitor, provided that the principals will monitor the curriculum that is designed by them. So kung ano yung katakaran ni DepEd, dapat yan din po sinusunod ng mga private institutions that monitor po sila.
Okay, thank you po, Ma'am. Parang meron lang po akong narinig na ganun. Pero,
And have their own curriculums which are not being approved by the DepEd. Kailangan na sinusunod po.
yes po, Ma'am.
Ma'am,
Thank you po.
ano po?
Sige po.
Ay, yung sa Montessori, iba-iba rin yung style ng teaching nila. Sumusunod pa rin po sila, umaakla pa rin po sila sa curriculum ng pero yung style ng delivery nila ay yun lang ngayon. May different.
Siguro nga, yung design ng kanilang
Sir,
delivery.
ako po, Sir Mark, as long as it is actually injected, as long as pwede silang mag-advance, yun nga lang minsan, when you talk about Montessori, sir, syempre iba yan. Bukod sa ito ay private, ito ay ika nga natin exclusive. So pwede silang mag-advance, provided, in particular, this one is being approved pa rin din. Kasi hindi sila po pwedeng gumalaw ng without the approval. So that's why lahat ng curriculum nila na design, kung ano man yung ibinibigay nila over their school, is again, this was being approved and signed by Department of Education.
So, in short,
Naka-align.
yes po, Ma'am. So, ibig sabihin po nito, Ma'am, halimbawa si private school ay magtatayo siya ng eskwelahan and he will be, or the school will be designing their own curriculum. Although, syempre, kailangan niya ipa-approve sa DepEd, which is actually kailangan, syempre, guided ng ating DepEd curriculum. Pwede silang mag-design ng curriculum that exceeds the curriculum of the DepEd. Parang ganun po ba? At approved by the DepEd po. Ganun.
Yes po.
Yes. Kasi po yung halimbawa sa Ateneo, yung kanilang 'di ba dati tayo ay parang sa Ateneo de Manila as far as I remember, parang tayo kasi first year, second year, third year, fourth year, tapos college. Sa kanila kasi parang grade school, grade 7, 'di ba? Yung middle school, grade 7, grade 8, grade 9 dati. So parang yung curriculum nila is actually different from us. Pero sabi nga ni Ma'am, it must be approved by the DepEd curriculum. Yes, salamat po, Ma'am. So, few of the commonly used techniques include need and task analysis, objective design, choosing appropriate teaching and learning methods, choosing assessment, and forming the curriculum committee and curriculum review committee. So, hindi lang po isang tao ang gagawa nito, kailangan talaga committee, marami. So, hence the entire process is divided into segments to ensure the development of an effective curriculum that would help to facilitate an enriching educational program. So, what are the types of curriculum development model? So, una, learner-centered design. So, the learner-centered design focuses on understanding that each learner has different characteristics. So, when you are designing your curriculum, unahin mo dapat isipin na iba-iba yung ating mag-aaral at hindi sila pare-pareha. Kasi may mga school, na dapat isaalang-alang yung pagde-design ng curriculum doon sa iba't ibang klase ng mag-aaral na meron tayo. So the teacher or instructors are to give opportunities to the learners to take ownership of a project or assignment. So they're required to create chances for independent learning with well-regulated liberty. This indicates that students take a more active role in the classroom, but it is to be done under the instructor's guidance. So I think types for these attributes of learner-centered, so context, assignment and tasks given in the classroom. So we have that should have real world application. So palagi kaya lang minsan tinatanong ako ng mga bata, ma'am, sabi sa akin ng mga bata, sir, how can we use the excuse me, how can we use the geometric sequence in the real world situation. Sabi ko na is actually patterns, and it can be observed, no, in the real world. So marami kang makikitang pattern diyan. So minsan in logical reasoning, no, makakita ka ng isang pattern and you are asked to what will be the next parang object, madali lang para sa iyo. So dapat yung ating lesson inside the classroom will always have an application in the outside world or in the real world. Minsan niloloko ko na lang po yung mga bata sa algebra. Sabi ko na, pag napunta ka sa bundok at may nakita kang na-engkanto ka at hindi ka na pauwi na engkanto, as meron ka lang isang paraan para makauwi is to solve algebraic expression, yun na lang yung magiging paraan mo para makauwi. So yun, karaniwan, minsan iba't iba kasi siguro sa subject natin, no, sa akin sa math, minsan iisipin mo na lang na sasabihin mo sa mga bata na kasi pagdating mo sa college, this will be discussed and you are required to, this prior knowledge can be used, di ba, para dun sa inyong mga susunod na mga lessons sa math, or maybe kung kukuha ka ng engineering, mga ganito, kukuha ka ng mga CP, ng accounting, so magagamit ko to. So those are the only applications in some parts of the lessons in mathematics na pwedeng ibigay sa mga bata. So construction learners should relate their own experiences and prior learning with new learning. Collaboration, creating an environment and providing opportunities that encourage collaboration between classmates, activities like group discussion and team assignments. Aware tayo dito, no? Minsan nagbibigay tayo ng mga group activities so para si bata ay may work in collaboration with their classmates. So conversation, exercise to improve learners' communication skills are mandatory, and hence instructors should employ them accordingly. Meron pa ako na-observe na isang teacher which is actually na parang ginagawa ko na rin sa classroom ko ngayon. Kasi sa math kasi, kapag nagtatanong po ako, 1 plus 1, the answer is 2. So, ang ginagawa ko ngayon sa mga bata para ma-enhance yung kanilang communication skill, they have to answer me incomplete sentences or incomplete sentence. Kung sinabi ko 1 times 1, sasagot siya, 1 times 1 is equal to 2. So, dun pa lang, na-encourage ko si bata, siguro sa part ko, kasi lang naman pinakasimpleng paraan, tapos sa board chalk activity or discussion, sa mathematics. Siguro sa ibang subject, lalo sa AP, lalo kapag nag-explain yung mga bata for history, no, sa ESP, no, anyway, communication skill is important in our lesson. So what are the types of pangalawa is subject-centered design. Subject-centered design is a traditional approach to curriculum that focuses on particular. Bilis ako na lang po, alam po, mayroon po pong Mr. the Reporter. Subject matter or discipline rather than on individual additionally during the curriculum development process. This approach includes 4 subtypes of curriculum design: subject area design, discipline design, broad field design, and correlation design. Ito naman po ay talagang nakapokus sa subject, no? Pag sa curriculum, ano ba yung dapat content, ano ba yung nilalaman ng lesson na to or ng particular unit na to. And problem-centered design. Problem-centered design is an approach that focuses on developing problem-solving skill, thinking and communication skill. This is a student-centric strategy wherein the learners are given problematic situation and encouraged to solve them after careful observation. So, applicable naman to sa lahat ng subject, and kailangan talaga kasama ito kasi para ma-assess ng bata kung anong mga prior knowledge or skills ang kanilang gagamitin to solve a particular problem. So, process of curriculum development, may stage 1 tayo. 6 stages, I mean, assessing the educational needs, ano ba yung kailangan ng ating educational system or ng mga bata, ng ating mga estudyante, formulating objectives and learning goals, ano sa ba tayo tutungo, no? Ano ba yung patutunguhan natin, kailangan may objective tayo dyan. Careful selection of learning experiences to accomplish this objective. So, ano yung mga activities na pwedeng gawin pasok dito, halimbawa gusto mo si bata matuto magkumpuni ng upuan, ano yung mga skills na dapat niyang matutunan. So, selecting the rich and valuable content through which teachers can offer the learning experiences, and organizing and integrating learning experience with relevant experience. So, ito yung ating, ito po yung 6 stage. So, ito yung formulating objective, careful selection, selecting of rich and valuable content, assessing the educational needs, timely and accurate evaluation of all the above phases, and lastly is organizing and integrating learning experiences with relevant content, keeping in mind the teaching learning process. The principle of curriculum development, ito, importante talaga to, yung norms, values, moralities, and philosophies that will benefit teachers, students, and the whole education system. The curriculum and instructional strategies are essential components of imparting knowledge to student. Ito po yung totality of experience, no? Sa bata actually ito, lahat naman to focus sa bata eh. Kasi tayong teacher lang yung facilitator ng learning minsan. Although tayo ay part ng teaching learning process, pero sa bata pa rin talaga yung focus natin. So, child-centeredness, conservation and creativity, integration, flexibility, utility, character formation, mental discipline, and social fulfillment. Kapag siguro ito ay achievable, no? Na-achieve natin ito sa ating lesson in particular or dun sa ating curriculum, siguro napaka-effective na nating guro or effective na tayong committee part ng curriculum design or designer, no? Kaya importante talaga i-consider. So, principle of totality, medyo mahaba pa. Sorry, principle of totality of experiences. Ito po yung mga basic principle of curriculum development. It is imperative to realize that curriculum does not merely indicate academic subject traditionally taught in school and colleges. Sabi nila ito ay totality ng experience ng isang bata. So, gains through several curricular, extracurricular, and co-curricular activities. May times tayo sa DepEd na pinagbabawal lang, hindi naman sa pinagbabawal, kaya lang no interruption of classes. Minsan, yung mga extracurricular activities ngayon ay wala nang bearing, no? Minsan kahit sumali ka sa mga club, sumali ka sa mga group sa school, no? Minsan, yung si bata tinatamad kasi wala namang bearing. Kaya lang, syempre kasama ito sa totality ng isang bata. So, principle of child-centeredness, instead of sticking to the predetermined curriculum, instructors must consider the child's concern, motives, and needs while developing the curriculum. So, kasi bata pa rin ang ating focus, huwag nating aalisin sa isip natin yan. Kasi baka mamaya maging part tayo ng committee that will develop a curriculum at ngayon, minsan tayong mga teacher, meron tayong hinaing na bakit ganito yung design ng curriculum. Minsan sinasabi pa natin sa isip natin na yung bang mga nag-design ng curriculum na yan ay nag-hands-on or na-experience nila yung talagang classroom setup. Kasi tayo, minsan sa part ng pag tinitingnan natin yung ating MELT, no, minsan hindi naman to, kasi minsan itong lesson na to hindi naman to kailangan eh. Bilang teacher siguro, iniisip natin minsan yung mga nag-develop ng curriculum ay naging hands-on sa mga estudyante or sila ba ay naging teacher, parang gano'n. Alam ko, isa yan sa mga naiisip natin kasi naiisip ko na rin yan minsan. So while planning any curricular activities, educator must consider ways to enrich learners' interests. Sabi ko nga sa mga co-teacher ko, para mabago mo yung curriculum or mas maging concise o para magkaaya-aya or kapakipakinabang sa mga bata, kailangan mag-aral tayo mabuti, no? Tapusin natin itong doctoral natin para kung halimbawa tayo na ma-assign doon sa DepEd, yung by experience, kaya natin i-design yung curriculum na mas maigi siguro o mas maganda. So, principle of conservation and creativity. While developing a curriculum, it is mandatory to include subject and experiences that would help conserve cultural heritage. So, kasama ito sa isa sa mga dapat nating i-consider. So, one of the most essential principles of curriculum development is that the curriculum cannot be static. On the contrary, it should be subject to modification as per the requirement aligned with the changing global educational trends and student needs. So, principle of integration, the curriculum should be planned in such a way that various subjects could be added at different stage of education. Kasama to sa minsan sino-observe sa ating class observation, no? Hinahanap nila kung paano i-integrate yung isang topic sa iba't ibang mga topic or subject. Kailangan ito kung paano magagamit ito sa iba pang mga subjects. So, the existing subject should be able to integrate with other subjects apart from enabling the students to correlate with the content. Minsan may mga department at tayo, no? Minsan gusto nila parang isang topic, kailangan na ma-integrate to sa lahat ng topic na meron o subject na meron sa meron tayo sa school. Minsan kailangan, ako sa math, actually, kailangan ma-integrate ito sa science, sa TLE, sa AP. So, si teacher ako, kailangan maghanap ng mga application wherein this particular topic can be integrated with the other topics. Alam ko naman kayo din, minsan it actually takes time, no? Minsan nahahabol at kakahanap ng kung saan ba kailangan i-integrate. Pero it is a must na kailangan na talaga ma-integrate yung ating mga topics sa ibang subject. So, principle of flexibility, one of the ideal qualities that the curriculum should have is flexibility and dynamism. So dapat talaga flexible at talagang kailangan makater lahat ng bata. And this will be instrumental in serving the needs and concern of individuals and society. Also, timely changes and appropriate modification to the curriculum allows educators and learners alike to stay updated with academic goals. So, principle of utility, according to which educator must include content that is useful to individuals and society. So, laging may real life application. So, principle of character formation.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes po, ma'am.
If I may batin po. Excuse me po, sir.
Sige.
If I may batin, mahaba pa po kayong report nyo kasi may klase pa po ako ng 11.
Konti na lang to, ma'am. Ayan na lang po, ma'am. I-jump ko na lang po, ma'am, dito sa yung, kung okay lang po, yung kay Ralph Tylers po. Ito po yung purpose ng school. So, pag gumagawa daw po ng isang institution, pag nag-design ng isang curriculum, sabi the purpose of the school, so what educational purpose should the school seek to attain? So, kung gagawa ka ng school na educational experiences related to the purpose, what educational experiences can be provided that are likely to attain these purposes? And organization of the experience, how can these educational experiences be effectively organized? And evaluation of the experience, how can we determine whether these purposes are being attained or... So, ito po yung ating Ralph Tylers model for basic principle pag tayo ay gumagawa ng educational institution. So, pinresent ko lang po dito yung kay Tabata, ma'am. Si Tabata po ay isa po sa mga educator natin. Sabi niya, ito yung mga kailangan sa curriculum development. So, diagnosis of learner's need, focus on learner, collaborative learning, and flexible model. So, iwan ko lang po, ma'am, to. I have never let schooling interfere with my education. So, alam natin to. Galing po so kay Tom Sawyer, na author ng Tom Sawyer, Sid Wayne. At marami pong natutunan sa bagay na yan. No? May mga bagay talaga na hindi nasa loob ng school matututunan yung mga bata. Maraming pwede silang matutunan sa ibang mga experiences o sa iba pang mga bagay. Pasensya na po, ma'am, sa abala. Thank you po for listening.